just 3 months, Facebook stock has lost half its value. Some Wall Street analysts say the stock was priced too high for the money Facebook was making, even a higher valuation than that of tech powerhouse Google. And there's criticism that Facebook sold too many shares in its initial public offering, or IPO, a combination that sent the price plummeting.
These days, the cool, fashionable way to send and share pictures is definitely Instagram.
Yeah, so we here at World News Now created an Instagram account to share some of the kooky things we do on and off the air.
That's right. The latest cyber drug of choice is called Twitter, an addictive concoction of blogs, Google Maps, personal websites, and text messaging, all bottled into one network and delivered to users in real time.
Have you noticed people your age or older using Facebook recently?
Yes, I have.
Yes, my mother uses it, and some of my friends use it to communicate to their other friends. We get together.
Do these people use it to check on their children or other family members?
Yes, they wouldn't say that's their intention, but they do check on their children.
My mother uses it to check on her grandchildren, but my friends, I don't know.
Have you noticed people your age or older using Twitter or Instagram often?
No, they do not use Twitter. And what was the other one?
Instagram.
Instagram, no, they don't use that.
I don't know what Twitter and Instagram is.
And do you think Facebook is less popular now than it was a few years ago, and how so?
I think it is less popular. I teach high school students, and I don't hear them talk about Facebook like I used to. They used to talk about it all the time, and now it's not all the rage.
Yeah, I don't hear people talking about it as much, or see it on the news as much.
We've all heard the term Facebook, but we may not know that you can use it to keep tabs on your children's personal lives, even when they're far away from home.
You can. You're going to love this. It's so easy. All you do is create a profile and search for your son or daughter's name and add them to your list of friends.
Oh,
Within minutes, you can be writing on their wall. I write to my son Jeffrey about 5 or 6 times per day.
He must love being able to stay in touch with his mom like that.
Parents are spying on their children using social networking sites, which is fascinating because more and more parents are now opening up their own Facebook accounts, right? And what they found was that 55% of parents spy on their kids using social networking. 5% said no, they would if they could or if they knew how. And 40% said, no, I don't do this. 40% of the people in the survey are bad parents. I'm just kidding. They're
No,
not
it's
bad
terrible.
parents. I know.
Rage with teens talking to their friends on MySpace, Twitter, and Facebook. But now parents are logging on, and they say they're hooked more than their kids.
Okay. Have you had any desire lately to delete your Facebook at all?
Yes. I feel like it sometimes eats up useless time. And, yeah, so I have wanted to.
I do think about deleting my Facebook pretty often, especially because of all of the older people that are on Facebook and the younger generation. I've noticed that my mom and her friends and my aunts and even my great aunts all post their life sagas on Facebook, and I really could care less about reading that. And younger kids, I've noticed, like my little cousins, post like weird selfies of themselves and do all this TBH kind of stuff, aka to be honest. And I'm like, this is not how we use Facebook.
Yes, but just in case I want to use it later, I decided to keep it.
Yes, because just growing up, it's like hard to keep it private, and when you're trying to get an internship or a job, you don't want supervisors or people seeing all the negative stuff that you post on there, so that's why I would delete it.
Yeah, especially like during finals and when you want to study and not have that procrastination tool. But Facebook makes it very difficult to delete your profile, so I was a little frustrated with that.
Okay. What form of social media do you use the most these days, and why?
I would say right now I'm using Instagram the most, just because I think at this age group you're constantly going out and doing different things, and I think a lot of people just like to document it, and So yeah, I think that's what I use most often.
You use Facebook a lot less. I think I use Instagram and Twitter most of my time. I know my dad always checks my Facebook and looks at my pictures and stuff, so I definitely post less on there.
I'd say that I now pretty much just use Instagram and Twitter most often and not really Facebook anymore. Just because I have a lot less followers on those than I do friends on Facebook. So I know that a lot of my friends on Facebook I don't really know that well, but all of my followers on Instagram and Twitter are people that I've approved and know them all personally, and none of my family, besides obviously cousins that are my own age, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. So I don't really like Facebook anymore because of that reason, so that's why I use Instagram and Twitter a lot more now.
I use Facebook less and Twitter and Instagram more. My little sister is on Facebook, and she will report back to my parents everything I put on Facebook, so I try not to use that, and I'll use Instagram or Twitter more because she's not on there.
I use Twitter and Facebook mainly for social media. I do have a Vine. I enjoy watching it more than posting.
How has your use of social media changed over the past few years?
It's definitely increased. I think just because, for different reasons, just because this generation, everyone's using different kinds of social media apps and with new technology and everything. And I think as you get older, you want to meet more people, you want to friend them, stay in touch with them.
I think I probably use it a little more now, just because meeting a lot of people. And since I've gotten a smartphone, downloading the apps, I am definitely on it more than
I have to say I use Twitter and Instagram a lot more than Facebook, and that's changed recently. When I was younger, especially in high school, I was way more obsessed with Facebook than I am now, and I would have never thought of deleting it.
My use of social media over the past few years has changed more from Facebook to Twitter. I think it's funny what people post. I enjoy funny things, so I'm on there much more than Facebook.